What's up everybody, Brandon here with another video. Today, with deer season coming up quickly here in Texas, we're going to be talking about something that's near and dear to my heart, which is home processing your own meat. In this video, there's going to be a few categories. Category number one is going to be, in my opinion, what you have to start out. And of course, my neighbor is going to start banging on something as soon as I start this video. I apologize if there's some background noise. In my opinion, what you have to start out to do basic processing. So when you take your deer to a place around here to get it processed, it's averaged about $100 a deer, or a pig. I think pigs are about 120. I haven't got a deer processed at a processor in a long time. So what they do is they take your back straps out, they'll butterfly them and wrap them up, and then they grind everything else. And that's it. That's basic processing around here. Average is about $100 a deer. So I'm going to show you what I think is necessity to do that, and then one extra item that I believe should also be in that category. So to go ahead and kick it off, the first thing you're going to do when you shoot a deer is you're going to gut it. And a knife you need to be able to do that with is this one. In my opinion, this is an Outdoor Edge Onyx, I think is how you say it, everyday carry. And this knife is my best friend. I've got several of these. I'm not great at sharpening knives, so this is something I love to use. Field dress it and skin it, I do it with this. Now, another thing you need to skin your own deer is somewhere to hang it. For years and years, I've been using a rope and pulley system with a gambrel on it. You can get them all day at Walmart, Academy, Orscheln's, Atwood's, Cabela's for 20 bucks. Most everybody's got trees or garage rafters, but get your deer off the ground to skin it, especially if you're going to be taking it to a taxidermist. You want to take the best possible product to your taxidermist so you can get the best possible product back from your taxidermist. So you want a good quality knife and somewhere to hang it. You can do it with a boat winch. A lot of people have that. I just recently built an actual powered winch. I happened to have an old winch laying around, fixed it up, and got it hanging from a tree with a pulley system, and now I just push a button and it raises my deer and pigs up. But not everybody can have that. But you need to get your animal off the ground. If you don't have rafters or a tree to hang it from, another option is a thing that goes in the hitch receiver of your truck. I don't know how much those go for because I've never even looked at them before. I've just seen them. So you can look that up. I'm sure Google will help you out on that pretty easily. So you skin it, or you gut it, you hang it, and you skin it. That's step one. So you need a knife and somewhere to hang it. That's it. Number two is you're going to debone it. This knife here is an Outdoor Edge. Came in a kit that's got this and a couple other knives, a little rib spreader and the saw. This is all I have left out of that kit, I think. This knife has been through the ringer the last, I want to say 3 or 4 years I've been using this knife. I got some other ones that I recommend that I'll link in the description below. All this stuff that I can find will be linked in the description below. If I can't find it, hit me up, and if you can't find it, I will try to find it for you to make it as easy as I can on y'all that are just starting out. You got to have a boning knife. A boning knife is essential. You can bone with these little pocket replaceable blade knives. I don't like doing it. I'd rather have a blade knife. I know a lot of people use fillet knives, the bubble blade ones, stuff like that. So you can find these just about anywhere. Again, I'll link them in the description below, and a couple other a little bit better quality knives that my relatives have used over the years. I guess I should hint on that. A little bit of a background. I grew up in a meat processing family. I only worked at the market during deer season, just like most of my other cousins. So I've got extensive background in this stuff. So some of this stuff is real opinionated, but it's been passed down to me, and I've tried it out myself. So again, my opinion, this isn't the Bible, so don't do what you think is best. So once you get your deer shot, gutted, hung, skinned, and deboned, the most common thing you're going to want to do is grind your meat up. So I have 2 meat grinders. This is the cheapest option, and this is the only one I have here today. This is just a $50 Cabela's meat grinder I bought probably 10 years ago. Nothing special to it. It's got the top plate. Obviously, I don't have that on here, but it came with stuffer attachment, which I don't use, and 3 of these grinding plates, which I only use the small and the big. If you're not making any sausage, you don't really need the small one, you really only need the big one. But again, most of these kits, or most of these meat grinders come with all of this stuff in it, so you don't have to buy it separately. All the ones I bought have. The big one is the one you primarily need unless you're making sausage, and then you need to find one. Most of my meat gets ground up. I don't grind up my back straps, obviously, but pretty much everything else does. I don't do roast. We don't really do stew meat. We do a chunkier grind for chili meat because my dad makes some chili every now and every couple of years, or every couple times a year. So we don't really do chunked meat or anything. We grind it up and make sausage out of it. We'll make a little bit of jerky, and we'll make our backstrap steaks. That's it. That's pretty much all I do. Most of what we make gets made into sausage of some type, which I'll get into that here in just a minute. So you got to have a meat grinder to do basic processing. You can get these things cheap. Like I said, this one was $50, and I've had it for at least 10 years, and it's seen hundreds and hundreds of pounds of venison, pork, beef, elk. I think that's about it. Buffalo, it's seen some bison, bear, lots of bear. So this meat grinder has done work. You can get by with a cheap meat grinder, and that's another thing, guys. Buy what you can afford. Don't go out and go broke buying the most expensive thing that you think you have to have. You don't have to have high dollar of all this stuff. There's an item here in just a second I'm going to get to that I think you should dump as much money as you can possibly afford into, but we'll get into that in just a second. Meat grinders, all of them except for the little cheap Harbor Freight one and the Walmart one will do the job. The cheapest one I've ever seen in my experience costs like 28 bucks, and it's just trashy looking. I wouldn't think you'd be able to grind a squirrel up, and my buddy's had it for 7 years, and he's not going to buy a new one until it breaks. So buy what you can afford. If you can afford a high dollar one, cool. My other one, it's actually mine and my dad's. It's at my dad's house. Is one of the big Cabela's. I think it's called Carnivore one or Coyote or something like that. Stainless, all different kinds of attachments. It's a big daddy. So what we do is we shoot a deer, we hang it, skin it, and then I throw it into a cooler hole in an ice bath and let it age for 3 to 5 days. Then I rehang it and debone it. Then it gets staked up or whatever's going into jerky, and then gets ground up. Then it gets vacuum sealed, put in the freezer. We do that with my dad's deers, my deer, my wife's deers, my mom, all the pigs we shoot throughout one season. At the end of the season, we have a party, and we get all that ground up meat out, and we make all our specialty sausages out of it. That's what we love: snack sticks, summer sausage, breakfast sausage, brats. We love all that stuff. So get you a grinder. You don't have to have a high dollar one, but if you can afford it, get it. So the next thing you got to have, which is necessary to do basic processing, is some way to store it. If you're going to burn through your deer meat or wild pig fairly quick, these little 1 pound wild game bags, these are LEM. I think you can get like 100 of these for 10 bucks on their website. They are awesome for about a year. Like I said, I grew up in a meat family, so I've been around this stuff my whole life. And after about a year, I believe, in my opinion, the meat starts tasting different if it's been in the freezer in this stuff. I don't think it's good for long term. If you're going to burn through it in less than a year, then these are fine. And you can do chunked up meat in these bags. You could do fine ground. You can do coarse ground meat in these bags. You can even put your back straps, if you chunk them up right, in these bags. I don't recommend that, but I've seen people do it. And that's a short time storage in my opinion. Now, this is something that I'm probably going to catch flack on for putting in the must-have category, and that is a good vacuum sealer. I've been doing this at home, not at my family's meat market, none of them involved in it, myself, for 15 years, okay? And I have spent hundreds of dollars on vacuum sealers because I keep buying the cheap ones, and I regret it. I don't have one here with you because every one I've ever had has crapped out. So, if you're gonna do this, buy a high quality vacuum sealer. If you're gonna make it last, try to make it last more than a year. If you shoot a lot of animals or whatever like I do, and you wanna drag the deer meat out, whatever, the three that I recommend are the Cabela's commercial line. I'm getting the 12-inch one. That's the one I'm gonna go buy here probably this weekend. And then the VacMaster 350 or 380, and then Walton's has one that is, I want to say it's like a T2000 is their model number or something like that. I don't really recall. Buy a commercial line, even if it's on the bottom of the commercial line, that's better than the best pro line, whatever they call it. I've been through Food Savers. I've been through the Cabela's, I think it's called Pro Line one. I've been through a couple other ones, and none of them have either, they don't pull a good enough vacuum, they don't seal good enough, the motors burn up. I mean, it's just, it's endless problems, you guys. So, for me, a vacuum sealer is a must-have because I told you the process that we do. Plus, we shoot a lot of pigs. We got a lot of deer between, you know, my little intermediate family. So, our deer meat lasts a long time. I know there's a tradition, you know, you want to run out of deer meat before the next deer season. No, I'm not a part of that tradition. So that's pretty much it for the must-have category. You know, we got all this fancy stuff we're going to get into here in just a second, and this isn't even all of mine. This is just the bottom of the totem pole. So to recap, a knife to do your gutting and your skinning, something to hang it from, a deboning knife, a grinder, a vacuum sealer, some storage bags, and I almost just forgot a cutting board. The bigger you can find, the better. These, I got 2 or 3 of these. These are 16 by 24. Walmart for 13 bucks. That's where I got all of mine. I want to get one that'll cover this whole island right here one day, but I'm not to that point financially, so you got to have a cutting board also. Just throwing that out there. There's nothing to a cutting board. But that's it for me for the must-have category. Category number 2 is going to be jerky. Everybody loves deer jerky. Everybody wants to make deer jerky. So, the basic way to make deer jerky, and the average person is going to want to go to Academy. I'm just going to throw Academy out there and buy the packets, pre-made packets that they have here. This is the Backwoods Jerky Seasoning, LEM Backwoods Jerky Seasoning. This is the original. It's made. It does 5 pounds of jerky. I mix all my own seasonings and everything most of the time, but I do have some of these kits. My favorite right over there, I'll show you in just a second. This is easy. It's got to cure all the seasonings and the instructions, and it'll tell you how to do it. And you can do this in your oven. If you're going to do it in your oven, this is what I recommend. Let me set this dehydrator out of the way. Take a baking sheet pan that is about the same size as some of these jerky trays, which you can get at Academy, Walmart. I'll link these in the description below also. You set one on your baking sheet. You do a line of jerky. You set a jerky tray. You do a line of jerky. You set a jerky tray. You do a line of jerky, etc., as much as you can fit in your oven, and you put it in your oven. Now, there's all kinds of different debates about doing it in your oven with temperatures and everything, so do your own research on that. I don't do it in the oven enough to have an opinion, and I don't have opinions on stuff that I don't have enough experience with. So that's the basic way to make jerky. That's how I started making jerky. Until, and this is my favorite way, ooh, that was loud, I bought this dehydrator. This is the cheapest dehydrator that I know of on the market, and it's the best to me. It's got on-off, does like 5-ish pounds of meat. It's not easy to clean. That's the biggest downfall about it. It's got 6 trays, I want to say. It is my favorite. I got another one that's a 6-tray game winner that's got a digital display. You control the temperature, the time. To me, it doesn't do as efficiently as this thing does. I want to say, and this thing's 10 years old. I bought this before I bought the meat grinder. So this has been through the ringer. It's been put through hundreds of pounds of jerky. I trust it, and that's why I'm recommending it to you guys. This is made by Open Country or Sportsman Kitchen, one of the two. I don't know who's making it, but I think I bought it at Academy. It was like $29.99 or $39.99. To me, this is my favorite way to make jerky, is dehydrating it. There's a little bit more advanced way I'll get into in just a second, but if you're gonna go buy a dehydrator, I recommend this one. The Game Winner one that I was just telling you about, it's twice as much as this one. It doesn't do any more meat than this one does, and it doesn't do it as efficiently, in my opinion. So do with that information as you want. But it's simple. Again, same seasoning packet. Tray, break the trays down, line of meat, line of meat. Now what I do is I cycle this every couple of hours. I'll line it up like this, put it on, and then I'll go back a couple hours. I'll put the top tray on the bottom, the next to the top, on the next to the bottom, and reverse them. I do that every couple of hours. The Game Winner one, I have to do it a lot more often than that, and it takes twice as long as this thing does. Again, simple on-off switch. There's nothing to this little dehydrator. It's easy. That's 2 easy ways to make jerky. All of my jerky gets done on the dehydrator. That's just, I like it better that way. So you can pick and choose. If you have a pellet smoker and you don't have a dehydrator, or a little wood chip smoker, heck yeah, use that. Don't go out and buy a dehydrator because I told you to. Use what you have or what you can afford. If you only have a wood burning smoker and you want to give it a shot, do a lot of research and a lot of test runs. Don't waste all your deer meat. Don't waste any meat. Just burn it with no meat in it and waste wood. And try to figure out how to make it hold the right temperatures for the right amount of times and everything. That's the 3 ways that I make jerky. It's simple. It's really not that hard. There's lots of different brands that make these seasoning packets. LEM and High Mountain are the 2 that I use most common because they're the 2 most common ones that I know of. The next thing is what we make a lot of. We make hundreds of pounds of sausage every year. So to do that, the first thing you gotta have is a scale. That way you can get your cure, your seasonings, and your fat concentration or fat to meat ratio correct. This is just an LEM, scale goes up to 22 pounds. There's nothing fancy about it, it's just a dial scale. I mean, it's just a scale, you guys, there's nothing to that. The next thing you gotta have, in my opinion, is a meat mixer. You can mix it with your hands, but when you're making specialty sausage with fat, you wanna keep everything as cold as possible. Keep your meat nearly frozen. Keep your implements cold in and out of the freezers. You're doing different mixes and stuffings and everything like that. I don't have a meat mixer. What I use is my wife's KitchenAid with a paddle bit on it. Some of y'all out there may not be allowed to use your spouse's KitchenAid like I am, but my wife loves the sausage just as much as I do. So you don't have to use a KitchenAid either. Anyone that you can use a paddle mixer on. That's another thing I forgot about. KitchenAid has a meat grinding attachment. I've never used it. I know somebody that does, and they put hundreds of amounts of meat through it. It's just really slow. So you might look into that if you already have a KitchenAid that you're allowed to use that for. To be able to get the right protein breakdown when you're making summer sausage and snack sticks type stuff, you got to mix it correctly, and you got to get it to where it's tacky and it's sticky, and when you pull it, it stretches. It doesn't break automatically. So you got to get it mixed evenly and correctly, and that's hard to do with your hands. And as much sausage as we make, that's not an option for us. So look it up, check it out, see what you think. So once you get it mixed, weighed, you get your fat mixed. I do a 20% ratio of fat to meat. Once you get it weighed up, once you get it mixed, which we'll go into some kits in just a second, you got to stuff it. This is just a Game Winner. I want to say it's either 2.5 pound or 5 pound sausage stuffer. It actually has a case with a handle, but that part was lost in one of the other totes that I have not been able to find yet. So I promise there's more parts to this little stuffer too. This one came with 3 different size attachments. We normally just leave the small one on for the snack sticks, and then the big one we use a bigger stuffed tube for the meat grinder to do summer sausage ones. So this pretty much just stays like that. But like I said, it has 3 different tubes. There's 3 here and 1 on, or 2 here and 1 on it. You gotta have a sausage stuffer to stuff, whether it's collagen casings or pig intestine style casings, all natural style casings. So to make sausage, you have to have a stuffer. You don't have to have anything big. Like I said, we make hundreds of pounds of sausages, and we do it with this little guy. It's time consuming, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it type situation. These are, I want to say, about 80 bucks at Academy. I'll try to find a link for those, maybe better prices in the description below. So the next thing, obviously, is what kind of sausage are you going to make. So we typically make, my favorite, summer sausage. My dad's is snack sticks, and then we make brats, breakfast sausage, stuff like that. So like I said, the average person's going to want to be able to go to a store, buy one of these kits right here, and run with it. It's got everything you need in it: cure, casings, instructions, seasonings, everything. This one right here is Cabela's Snack Sticks kit. And this does 25 pounds of meat. This is the hot one. It's got all the instructions, the cures, the seasonings. It makes it simple. All you gotta have is the meat, the fat, the scale, the mixer. You pour this in there, you mix it up, you stuff it, and you smoke it. It's that simple. You don't have to worry about figuring out cure. It'll break it down for different pounds of meat in here. We normally use one of these in a go. We're mixing 25 pounds of snack sticks at least. So you got snack sticks one, summer sausage, breakfast sausage, brats. You can get any of these. Cabela's, High Mountain, LEMs. The Cabela's ones, I bought a monstrosity of a box of all different kinds of ones, and these are the only 2 I got left. Well, and some bratwurst ones. I don't like brats, that's my dad's deal. So, but this is the snack stick one, does 25 pounds of meat. This is the breakfast sausage one. I haven't tried this yet. Normally we just make patties out of it with our patty maker over here, which I'll show you in a minute. So I haven't tried this yet, but I'm sure it's good. It's not a specialty sausage, so it doesn't have cure in it. It's just the seasonings and the casings. It is a collagen style casing. Typically when we do broth style stuff, we do that in an all natural casing, so this will be different for me. I don't think I've ever had it that way, but 25 pounds of breakfast sausage, 25 pounds of snack sticks, that's 50 pounds of meat. And the next is my favorite, and this is my favorite company to buy seasonings from also, and that is High Mountain Seasonings. They are my favorite. This is a summer sausage kit. It's just the original one. They have a jalapeno one. They have I want to say a garlic and cracked pepper or something like that. They make the best, in my opinion. I'll take this or the jalapeno one. I've never done the garlic and cracked pepper one, and I mix it with high melt cheese. I mix it with high melt cheese. Typically it's the pepper jack or habanero one from LEM. I think it's who we buy it from most of the time. That stuff gets pricey though. High melt cheese is expensive. You can't use regular cheese because it'll just melt and make your summer sausage all gooey. But 25 pounds of summer sausage. And this thing, I want to say, is like 24 bucks, this kit. It's got the cure, the casings, the instructions, the seasonings. Just makes it simple. And that's what I know a lot of y'all maybe that were looking for this video, were thinking about getting into it, but weren't real sure what all it took. It's not that difficult. And for me, I think that every hunter should be able to kill an animal and feed their family with it themselves. Just my personal opinion. Take that for what it's worth. Summer sausage is my favorite. It's awesome. High Mountain Seasoning. I highly recommend them. I'm not sponsored or anything by any of these people. I'm recommending what I like and what I enjoy. Like I said, 25 pounds of summer sausage, 25 pounds of snack sticks and 25 pounds of breakfast sausage, and that'll all get used at the end of this 2020 deer season. Sausage, for cooking it, I do it, like I said, on a pellet or wood chip smoker because I have that available. So I think you can do, I don't know about summer sausage, but I've seen people do snack sticks in a normal oven. But figure out what you can use, what you have, what you can afford, what you want to use, your style, whatever. It's all about what you want, because this is your animal and it's your food, not mine, not anybody else's. So now we're going to get into luxuries. You know, we went through the basics of what you have to have. We went through jerky and we went through sausage. The next thing is luxuries. So this is a neat little tool. This is a Dexter meat hook. These things just make it easier. Like I said, I grew up in a meat family, so we just use hooks all the time. We always got meat hooks. We're always chunking slabs of beef or whatever. So for me, you keep both your hands more clean. That's a thing in barbecue down here in Texas. You always got to have one clean hand. Well, what's it hurt to have two? You got a knife in one, you got a meat hook in the other all day. So truck just drove by with a trailer full of pigs in it on it. It was a trap full of wild pigs. These little meat hooks, sorry, I got distracted. These meat hooks aren't a necessity, it's a luxury. For me, some people might find it annoying. Keeps your hands dry, clean, cold, warm. It doesn't make, you don't have to get them cold as much. I just enjoy using a meat hook. The next thing is one of my favorite things, and that is a burger press. This is the LEM Backwoods one. It's adjustable to make different thickness of patties. The only thing I wish, if you're going to go out and buy one of these, is get the spring-loaded top one, because this one takes some finagling to get the right amount of meat in there. We make about 24 burgers a year, and I know that exactly because I'll tell you in just a second. This is also made by LEMs. This is plastic freezer sheets. They're like 6 inch by 6 inch. This is a 1,000 count box. I think I paid $7 for it at Academy. What I'll do is I'll take one of these sheets, put it in the bottom of the press, put my amount of meat on here in a ball, put another sheet on top of that, and then press it. And then put it right here, and then do another one, put it right here, do another one, put it right here, and I'll do a stack of 12, put them in a vacuum seal bag, or if we're going to burn through them a lot, just a big plastic shipping bag is normally what we have, and put them in the freezer. It's just like if you go to a department store and buy a box of pre-made hamburger patties in the freezer section, that's what we're making here, just with deer burgers. This is also a luxury. So that's basically it. I've got some other things over there, like a silver skin knife that I don't know if it works yet because I've never used it. A couple little things, but guys, this stuff is simple. It's not that expensive to get into, except for how you're going to smoke your sausage and your jerky, however you want to do that. If you don't already have a way to do that, that can get pricey. A vacuum sealer, in my opinion, should get pricey. Meat grinder, you can get one under $100 all day. That'll last you a few years. So I know we're coming into deer season. I'm getting pumped. I just got my bow back yesterday from the shop with new strings on it. That's a whole big debacle. I don't know if any of y'all follow me on Instagram, but it's been a nightmare trying to get that bow set up, and I needed new strings. So I went and got new strings. It's less than 3 weeks away from the season opener here in Texas for archery season, and I got a big buck on my mind that I really think I can shoot opening morning or opening evening, as long as he's still in a summer pattern in a couple of weeks. So I'm getting my bow tuned up. I'm all pumped. I'm sure a lot of y'all out there are. So if y'all would, please go give me a follow on Instagram at Texas_Empire24 for more content, daily updates, all kinds of stuff. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Tell your friends. There's going to be a lot more to come. I'm trying to work out camera things, so if the lighting is horrible, forgive me. I'm trying to learn how to do this. I don't know how to work a camera, so I'm just making do with what I got. But I hope y'all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. We'll see y'all later.